Okay, I'm Rowena Rodriguez. I had to come in live here. I am broadcasting in Facebook and in YouTube simultaneously because this is an urgent message about the season that we're in right now. I am sharing this message to you, particularly to the Kingdom Singles. Those of you know that have been seeing me active on my social platforms for the last few months since this global lockdown happened to all of us, literally all of us on the planet, know that I have felt this sense of urgency and a message to provide some comfort to Kingdom Singles in this post-pandemic, socially distant, self-isolated, highly politically divided, post-Christian, world that we're living in right now. And I felt like the Lord has provided me a comfort and a solution to some Kingdom Singles that I feel like I know really, really well because I am you. And that is to the 30s and 40s Kingdom Singles who desire marriage and who desire a family. And we have now entered a season, 'tis the season for loneliness. For those of us who desire marriage and are not there yet, and for those of us who desire to launch families and haven't arrived there yet, there is so much in our hearts to express. There's been so much preparation over the years. We are not, most of us, I would say, are not passive people. We are desiring marriage in a way that is godly and honoring in the design of how God designed marriage for us to be fruitful and multiply in. And so we have been pursuing marriage in a way that is honoring to the Lord, and that's important to us. Integrity and honor and character is important to us. And so I felt like, Lord, I feel like He's provided me the solution for years, probably about 11 years. I've been providing conferences and hosting conferences. I've had the honor of meeting many of you face to face. And you're here on my social platforms because you want to be part of this conversation of biblical purity and sexual integrity and marriage preparation, like as soon as possible, right? We've heard sermons and I've read books. I'm an avid reader, and many of the pastors and authors and heroes of the faith are modern day heroes of the faith that of books that I highly respect, that I have gleaned from, come from people who are successfully married. But I have yet to glean from a book that talks about a successful singleness and a singleness that is thriving. And now we are here. We're here in a global lockdown. We're here in social distancing is the new norm, and self-isolation is the new norm. And right now we're in America, we are highly, highly politically divided. And I pray that, and I trust God's hand is on all of that. But listen, this sense of urgency I felt was to provide a safe place for all of us to land, right? And I have this unique Kingdom solution for Kingdom Singles who in their 30s and 40s who desire marriage and desire family, for all of us to get together in a safe place, in a place that's face to face. It's real time. And it's a place that'll challenge us out of the rut, out of the mundane, and bring us into trailblazing territory. So what I'm about to invite you to is not for the faint of heart. So if you're the kind of person, I made a list, if you're the kind of person who likes to be isolated, who succumbs to temptation, who loves to be desperate, who compromises your convictions, who entertains distraction and mediocrity and medicates your temptation and loneliness, then maybe this is not for you. But if you're the person, if you are the kingdom single that is intentional, that is proactive towards moving towards your desire for marriage and God's promises for your life to be fruitful and multiply, then listen up. This is for you. I'm hosting an event, another virtual event, and they are fast coming because of the season that we're in and the sense of urgency that I'm feeling to provide this for us to gather together, because it's our desire. It's our desire to be among one another because we're like-minded in our desires and our pursuit for marriage and our pursuit to prepare for marriage as soon as possible. As soon as possible. And if this is the first time you're hearing me say this, I have been saying it for years. Prepare for marriage as soon as possible. It's one thing for the church to say, oh, are you sure that you are called to marriage? You can say yes. And if there is any threat of marriage idolatry, I want you to ask yourself, have you idolized marriage to the point of compromising your convictions? Then maybe you are stuck in marriage idolatry. But if you are single and you have a desire for marriage and you have not compromised your convictions and your devotion to the Lord about your pursuit and in your pursuit for marriage, then there is no threat of idolatry for you, because they're just called your convictions and your desires to have faith and believe for what is not yet. All right. Now, if you're here with me, I want you to drop a comment. Let me know if you're here. I'd love to see you. So I want to extend an invitation to the 30s and 40s kingdom singles out there that are intentional, that are ready to take action and move towards marriage with like-minded men and women in your kingdom pursuit for marriage. I'm hosting a 5-day challenge for kingdom singles in your 30s and 40s. It's a personal brand challenge. If you're ready to be challenged and if you're ready to move towards that desire and to be active in your preparation for a lifelong thriving marriage, and you want to begin right away, this is for you. If you want to wait last minute and cram for the biggest test of your entire life, you could do that. But the result of that now is a high rate of divorce. And if you don't want that to be your story and you desire a better story for your life, then you better get going. And this is an opportunity for us to get going together. So I want you to check us out at kspersonalbrandchallenge.com. I've hosted 2 challenges so far, and I have been so honored to meet incredibly. They're beautiful, they're attractive, they're successful. I mean, just a bunch of unicorns of kingdom singles that are desiring marriage and want to move towards that intentionally and passionately and heartedly and faithfully, and to gather together in a group of like-mindedness and in family. So that is what I'm hosting, and I'm making available. Registration is open right now. Pretty soon, we're going to have to limit the capacity for these challenges because we want to make sure that we vet all the right people and make sure that you are in the right place at the right time. Because many of us, we could just passively, wishfully think that we could just stumble onto marriage. And there's some of us who are way more intentional, and we plan our course and the Lord directs our steps. And so this is that kind of group. It's for those who plan their course and allow the Lord to direct your steps. And so, look, out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth will speak. And that is what your branding is. What you speak is what will outpour into how you present yourself and what the message that you broadcast out into the world and into the stratosphere, into your church, into your family, into your friend groups about your desire for this life and how you choose and what you're pursuing and what you're passionate about and what you're against. That's your personal branding, and that's important for you. And if you're not married yet, you should probably pay attention to what messages you're broadcasting out into the single stratosphere of Christian singles, you know? Oh, this is so cool. We've got a friend, Supa Scooter. I have no idea what your name is, but let's talk about this personal branding, y'all. I don't want to put you on the spot here. I don't know who you are, Supa Scooter, but here's what I want to share about your personal branding. I want you to show up as yourself. I want you to show up. You've got a name. God's given you a name. Your mom and dad gave you a name, right? And so you got a name. I want you to use your name and not hide behind taglines. Or I'm kind of using you as an example, Supa Scooter, but yeah, oh, here's your name. There you are. Oh, yes. Hey, Alan from New Zealand. Thanks for joining us, joining me here on the live broadcast. It's so great I love that I actually get to see your name and where you're from. That's so cool. Thanks for joining us live. This is a really important conversation to have, and this is a conversation that we're having in the 5-day challenge, Kingdom Singles Personal Brand Challenge. Okay, I'm having this conversation. We're talking about brand identity and your brand personality. We're talking about the brand channels that you're broadcasting into, whether you know you're doing it or not. We're talking about your brand recognition and the reputation that you have among your church, your friends, the singles, and whatever social dating stratosphere, platforms that you actually utilize. We're talking about your visual branding, how important that is, and what you're attracting and what you're distracting from. And these are really important conversations to have. And so that's what we're gathering together in the 5-day challenge to discuss. And we're going to discover it. We're gonna create it. We're gonna begin to create it and craft it. And we're gonna really dig into what your personal branding message is and how important that is.